welcome to the Explorers Club President's Video Report. I'm Bill List, the originator and producer of the President's Report. I'm a member of our Atlanta chapter. I'm your communications chair and a member of your board of directors. And as we transition the leadership of our club, it gives us the opportunity to spend a moment and just reflect on why we belong to what we often call the greatest club on earth. In this report, we're privileged to meet not only and share the thoughts of our outgoing president, Richard Wiese, but our incoming president, Richard Garriott, and the visions of our honorary chairperson, Kathy Sullivan, our honorary president emeritus, Don Walsh, and our honorary current president, Dr. Bertram Piccard, all of them extraordinary explorers, world record holders, and leaders in worldwide exploration. First, allow me to introduce and welcome Kathy Sullivan.
Thank you, Bill, for that wonderful introduction. And hello to everyone who's listening, and I'm delighted to be with you today. I've considered myself an explorer from the earliest days that I can remember in my youth. But you know what? All of us have been explorers from the moment we popped out from our mother's womb. Exploring is how infant human beings start to learn about and make sense of the world. Exploring is how we become the teenagers and then the adults that we are. Exploring is intrinsic to human nature and a vital force in the development and advancement of societies and communities as well. Our group, our organization, this Explorers Club, exists to advance field research, but more importantly, to take on the vital charge of preserving this instinct to explore and explaining and conveying to society at large why it is vital for all of us that we continue to support and encourage explorers in all sorts of fields. We are a meeting place, yes, a calendar of social gatherings through the year, yes, but more importantly, we are a unifying force, a source of knowledge, support, and inspiration for explorers worldwide. It is the great and most important responsibility of our boards and our president, the leadership of this organization, to always keep that fire alive, to preserve and protect the mission and values of our club, and to advance the cause of exploration worldwide. And that's why I'm delighted to play a small role in this moment of important transition from our outgoing president, Richard Wiese, to our incoming president, Richard Garriott. And now it is my delight to turn the program over to another grand explorer, world record holder, and our very own president emeritus, Don Walsh, speaking to us from his home in Oregon. Don, my friend, over to you.
Thank you, Kathy. It's always nice to be introduced by my favorite astro person. We've been friends for many years, and I'm a great admirer for all she's done. She bracketed space in the bottom of the ocean, and I've only done half of that. So salute to you, my friend. Hello, everybody. I probably am one of, let's say, a half dozen members who have been in the club as long as I have. I became a member in 1961. 61 years I've had with the club has been very rewarding, and even though I'm not an officer right now or involved in the leadership, I'm happy to give my perspective, if you will, over those 61 years I've been a member. I think it's important to remember that the club itself is unique in the world, and with that comes responsibility, because I like to, in the marketing world, if you're trying to sell stuff, it's market share. That's important. How much of the global or national or even local market you control with your business. And really, the Explorers Club has about 100% market share when it comes to a dedicated group of people who are involved in exploration. There's really nothing like it in the world. Yes, there's an Alpine Club, and there's other clubs that are kind of clustered around certain domains of exploration, if you will, but Explorers Club covers all of it. So that's a responsibility on all of us, the leadership and members, to always keep that in mind. We are concerned and interested in exploration worldwide. The strength of the club, of course, is in the chapters, and so we have to make sure the chapters are all well run and have strong leadership. And finally, the participation of members to the extent possible. So let's focus on youth as much as we can and how to lead them. They've got so many things pulling on them in different directions at any given moment. you're competing for their time and attention. So it's got to be done in a clever way, and that's where leadership of the club will be so important. Now I'd like to introduce Bertrand Piccard. I would add a little footnote here. I worked with his father 62 years ago, and since then I've been associated with the family in various ways, and I've been anointed as Uncle Don. So I have history with the Piccard family. So it's always great to welcome my nephew, Dr. Bertrand Piccard, who's your honorary president, and give us a few words of wisdom. And he's got a lot of it, believe me. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Uncle Don. I love to be introduced by you at the Explorers Club because I don't know if anybody can know me better than you, almost since I'm born. And you've done so many things with my father. And what a pleasure also to be here on screen with both Richard and with Kathy. So we are speaking here about leadership, about exploration and transmitting now the leadership from one Richard to another one. Well, what is leadership? Leadership is when you give a purpose that is so high in value that everybody will follow it, that everybody will work day and night to reach it. This is, I believe, for every explorer the same, for every team. I've seen how much the people at Solar Impulse, at Breitling Orbiter 3, were dedicated just because they knew why we were doing it, to achieve a dream of flying with the energy of the wind for the balloon, with the energy of the sun for Solar Impulse, to be able to fly with no fuel and to give a message to the world to make the world more efficient, more clean, more sustainable. And of course, the leadership is so important in the club because we need to spread this purpose, to give the purpose also to the new members who need to understand why it is so important to become an explorer. And exploration, more than ever, today is important. 2,000 years ago, maybe everybody was explorer because there was not a lot of things that had been understood, that were known. But today you have far too many people who believe that they know everything and they remain sleeping in their certitudes, in their habits, in their routine. So the leadership of the club has to wake up everybody and say, we have still a lot of things to explore. So many things that we believe we know, but we don't know. We have to explore new ways of thinking, new ways of doing. It's not only a question of going to Mars. It's a question of being able to make this planet cleaner, better, with more respect for everybody. And this is, I believe, one of the biggest values that explorers have to share with everyone. I noticed that in the last 3 years, Richard Wiese has done it. He has done new things in the club. There was the new Explorer grant that was done thanks to Discovery. Can you imagine more than $400,000 already given now for young explorers? That's a way to perpetuate the tradition of the club. And it's the biggest grant program ever in the club. But this is normal because Richard Wiese is a guy who has made a lot of records, not only hosting the award-winning Born to Explore TV program, but also being president of the club for 2 periods, being the longest president in the club in the club's history. So it's normal that Richard has been sharing and promoting leadership and exploration. And now it will continue. It will continue with another Richard. It's an incredible guy that I really appreciate a lot. I saw him moderating the panel of Apollo astronauts for the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. That was also an idea of Richard Wiese, and on stage there was Richard Garriott, who was hosting these astronauts and making a fantastic show, a fantastic program. So one Richard to another, but first let's hear Richard Wiese, who will speak for a few minutes before giving the word to Richard Garriott.
Thank you, Kathy, Don, and Bertrand. It's humbling to follow such an iconic trio of explorers such as yourselves. And I'd like to give greetings to our membership throughout the world. I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. This pandemic has challenged virtually everyone on Earth. Jobs have been lost, expeditions have been canceled, families have been separated, and unfortunately, we've had the loss of life. The Explorers Club is no exception as we have closed the doors to headquarters. This time, I'd like to paraphrase Bertrand Piccard. Bertrand once said to me that the goal behind any crisis is to come out on the other end better than when you started. And whilst I would not wish this pandemic on anyone or any organization, in a true explorer fashion, our organization has adapted to this changing environment and in many respects has produced its finest moments in terms of organizational growth. I believe many of the initiatives that we have would not have begun if not for the pandemic and having the time to ponder, to discuss, and sometimes even debate where we see ourselves as an organization in the future. I hope someday that we will look back at this as a positive inflection point in our history. Everything that we do, especially at the board level, starts with a critical question of our club's mission. And our club's mission is to promote exploration. And as a result of an agreement between the Discovery Channel and the Explorers Club, we are now awarding more than $1 million a year in grants. That is far, far exceeding anything we've done in our 117-year history. For those of you who've been lucky enough to attend a Monday night lecture at the Explorers Club at headquarters, you know a sellout is about 150 people. The place is just packed to the gills. Now with Zoom technology and on certain occasions, we have exceeded 150,000 live viewers. And again, this is a result of our media partner promoting us. As the World Center for Exploration, we not only want our explorers to be reflective of the world we explore, we also want to create a platform that any explorer feels that they can realize their potential. We've initiated a successful and meaningful diversity and inclusion program, which has shifted the paradigm within the organization on how and who gets to interpret the world around us. During this time, we've had symposiums on race, LGBTQ, and explorers with disabilities, just to name a few. If you believe in the religion of science and exploration, you have a home and are welcome at the Explorers Club. Another shining example on how we're evolving as an organization is the EC50. Our slogan is 50 people who are changing the world that the world needs to know about. And it is our sincere hope that we will produce the next Kathy Sullivan, Jane Goodall, or even Matthew Henson. The first class of 50 is nothing less than breathtaking. Okay, now the time has come for me to turn over the reins of leadership to another one of our wonderful members, Richard Garriott, who for the past 3 years I have worked closely with and also developed a friendship. Let's not forget that one of the reasons we're members of a club is those friendships. We are fortunate to have someone of Richard's considerable talents. He is not only an outstanding explorer, but a successful businessman. With that, I wish Richard good luck. And I'd also like to thank our staff, our volunteers, and members for making the Explorers Club the greatest club on earth.
Thanks, Richard, Bertrand, Don, Kathy, Bill, and of course the board for their confidence in me by electing me as the next president of the Explorers Club. I would also like to express sympathy for the hardships so many of our members have experienced this year. I know many have lost loved ones, also jobs, and many of our expeditions have either been put off or canceled. And while most of us are cooped up either here in New York, Poland, Bhutan, or other parts of the world, I'm hopeful that we'll soon all be back in the field. I've been researching this job for some time, and I have detailed plans to share on organizational structure, succession planning, chapters, committees, board, and vice presidencies, but I've outlined 4 initial priorities for my term as president. And I'm only going to mention these today by category, as a fuller write-up on these is forthcoming. First is to focus on the fact that we are a member organization. We work for the members and often work through the chapters. And so all we do should be measured against this fact. Second, expand the current push for diversity across all aspects of the Explorers Club. Beyond the board and vice presidencies, which are already far more diverse than ever, we need to ensure that membership, awardees, and other areas follow suit. 3, build on the current momentum of the Discovery contract, which has already given our grants a huge lift by using it as a catalyst to help our upcoming capital campaign. A successful campaign will provide much needed endowments to key areas of member interest, such as grants, educational outreach, and the technology to better unite our 30 chapters. And it comes at a critical time with 2 canceled ECADs and other forms of fundraising challenges. 4th is good governance. As we set off on more bold goals, demonstrating good governance will be essential. I want to hear from you. Feel free to email me at any time with your concerns or questions you have about your club. We're setting up a mailbox suggestion at explorers.org, and I plan regular live fireside chats with Q&A, and I hope that we'll have more time to chat then. I can't wait to welcome you all back at our headquarters and get a chance to visit as many of our chapters and members face-to-face when possible. So until then, thank you very much.
Among countless notable achievements in exploration, 5 firsts achieved by our members define the legacy of the Explorers Club. 1909, the North Pole. 1911, the South Pole. 1953, the highest point on Earth, summiting Mount Everest. 1960, the lowest point on Earth, the Marianas Trench. 1969, the surface of the Moon, the Apollo 11 mission. By contributing to the Famous Firsts Fund, you are supporting education outreach, grand programs, headquarters, archives, and club operations. These initiatives will help foster the next generation of explorers and future firsts. Your gift shares your belief in how vital it is to foster the spirit of exploration and will support programs critical to fulfilling our mission.